What did this come out of? It's an extremely strong magnet that will easily lift a 15-pound sledgehammer. Disregard the rope? I've been throwing it in a lake with a rope attached for magnet fishing. The warning label on both sides said something about how it must be immediately removed and replaced if it's attracted to or contacts anything. It weighs around 15 pounds or so and seems to be wrapped in fiberglass except for the mounting base plate and the two circular magnets. An old friend of mine received it from one of his professors like 20 years ago, but I can't remember if it was a physics, chemical, etc. professor. Do you have any ideas on what this could be? It's a magnetron magnet, used in radar systems during World War II. Radar was the name given during World War II to an electronic system in which radio waves were bounced off an aircraft in order to detect its presence and locate its position. The magnetron continued to be used in radar in the post-war period, but fell from favor in the 1960s, as high-power klystrons and traveling wave tubes emerged. What is this metal object found in the garage? Around 2 pounds, silver color, one solid piece, and I cannot find any markings or cast marks. Any help to identify would be great. It's a steering damper lever for a 1930s Harley-Davidson VL. This was used to slow down the steering action on the bumpy old roads of the day. A steering damper, also called a steering stabilizer, is essentially suspension for your steering. Just as your fork and shock control the vertical motion of your wheels, a steering damper regulates the motion of your front end side-to-side movement. What do you think this tool is for? It's a collection of metal pipes and pins that came in a nice pouch. The pipes are about 5 inches long, they fit together, and the small piece also fits in the tubes. I found this with some other tools purchased at an estate sale. I tried searching for the picture but had no luck. Any idea what it's for? It's an SU car balancing wires, a tool set for balancing the airflow in SU variable Venturi carburetors, typically found on 1950s British cars like the MG or Triumph. Basically, the wires are inserted at the top of the carburetor to measure the venturi height or opening when the engine is running. Equal height across the carburetors means equal airflow. What are these doorless and windowless train cars seen on a siding in the UK? The doors are only at the ends, with accordion connectors like a passenger train. This was specifically seen on the Great Western Railway route between Reading and Oxford. They appeared to have the same profile as a typical passenger train car, but with no doors or windows on the side. Also, they were quite weathered with old graffiti, so they definitely didn't seem new. There's no indication these ever had doors or windows. I'd expect to see patches where they were covered. They were grouped 4 to 6 long with gangways between cars. That's a long way to carry stuff by hand and offload only at one end. Any ideas? These are car carriers. They were designed to offer complete protection, and being fully enclosed meant that new cars could be shipped between the UK and continental Europe without needing to be waxed, saving time and money. What is this mystery object found at a flea market in Sweden? It looks like a foot for placing a mortar tube. The spike bears the brunt of the weight, but the side feet are for deep snow. What do you think? It's a foldable hunting chair. You can probably unlock the leg and put it in from the other side. Those are used on driven hunts. As a shooter, you may have to stand for over an hour if you forget yours. But this site claims it's a World War I officer's trench stool, a portable officer's seat made of iron and American cloth. I have one of those. Surprisingly comfortable too. My mom wants me to figure out what this is. It says on what seems to be a handle, handcrafted John Flaspolar. The only John Flaspolar I can find is a biologist, so maybe it's some sort of instrument. I appreciate any suggestions you can offer. That is an oven rack pusher and puller, as my grandma called them. It's for pulling out and pushing in your oven racks. Here's the one that belonged to my grandma, then my dad, and now me. Kind of a funny thing to become a family heirloom. It seems like this John Flassbowler was a woodworker. It looks like he made coin banks too. What is this rusted piece of solid metal found in the soil at our summer house in the Finnish archipelago? About 10 centimeters long and maybe 1 centimeter wide. One side has 4 raised bumps, a bit thinner than the other, and one edge has 2530 FN engraved in it. It doesn't seem to be broken off of anything or damaged in any way. The place it was found in is relevant since there is nothing here except our cottage. My best guess is some sort of wheel weight, but there are no roads here and no one in our family has tinkered with such things. Maybe apart from some cast iron hatch? Any ideas? It's a keeper for the tooth of an excavator bucket. These go into the slots on the teeth to hold it on. Sorta like a cotter pin type situation. It's quite old, but if you've never had any such machinery on the property, it could probably have made it there in a bag of soil, a load of gravel, etc. I found a pair of these. Both are exactly the same with copper chains, steel and aluminum buckles, and hardware with a strap. I'm not sure if these are items used in the equestrian field or not, but they were found with a few items that are used to care for horses. Any history or extra information is helpful, thank you. It's an old emergency snow chain from the 1930s. I used them to get my 1970 Charger out of a lot covered in ice in 1988. The webbed strap goes around your rim and cinched down. The chain helps get traction in ice or snow. It's not meant to be used like actual tire chains on highways, just helps get unstuck if you go in the ditch. What is this thing found in an antique shop? My friend found it 10 years ago, and the owner has no idea what it was either. Approximately 14.5 inches long, it has a chain that seems to travel up and down, and a handle. There is some wear to the nickel-plated metal and the chain. It looks like it was put to good use back in the day. Does anyone know what this would have been originally used for? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.